But if you specifically and explicitly point it out and say, contact me, I'd be delighted to talk with you about your event, there's a sort of a thing that happens psychologically that people go, oh, yeah, I can call them. That's possible, and I can talk to them. Hello and welcome to the Innovative Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Isolde Trachtenberg. On the show, I interview peak performing world changers in the creative, social impact, and earth conservation spaces. If you like what you hear on this episode, you're going to want to check out the bonus mini episode you can access if you become a member of my coffee club. If you do, you'll get access to bonus episodes, new art, new writing, and other fun benefits at buymeacoffee.com/IsoldeT. See the show notes for more details. And now, let's get on with the show. Hello, and welcome to the Innovative Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Isolde Trachtenberg. Thank you so much for being here. This might be the very last episode in the Agents and the Gig Economy series that I've been doing every Friday. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and the reason I'm saying it might be the last is because I'm not sure if I'm going to talk about finances at all. What you charge and how you do your taxes and all of that is really a personal thing, and it also depends on the market you're in. That's a huge part of it, is that if I am in the New York City market, that's different than if I'm in the Topeka, Kansas market, and you would charge differently no matter what kind of variety entertainment you're doing. And I know right now with the pandemic, things have made live performing of any kind weird and awkward, and charging for it can be a challenging thing. If there's one thing that I can tell you is don't allow yourself to sound desperate for the gig. As soon as you sound desperate for the gig, your price is going to drive down because you start even thinking yourself that you're willing to take less. And that brings me to today's episode, actually. And that is when you're not working specifically with agents in the gig economy to get your jobs. This is all about the websites that are out there and the companies that are out there that sort of allow you to kind of directly work with clients. There are job sites like formerly known as Gigmasters or The Bash and Gig Salad and others where you can sign up and put out let's say I'm going to always use the Philosopher's Tones, the caroling group that I lead and manage because it's easiest to talk about that way. So you want a group shot, right? Or a shot of you doing what it is you do. So that's your main image. And you can also have videos of you doing what you do to delighted audiences, right? So all of that is something that you want to have. You want to have a bio, you want to have the kinds of things that you offer, and you want to be able to put it all in language that is designed to sell. And that is what you are going to do for your client, right? The way your client will be thrilled and joyful and delighted with what you do should they book you. Always think about that way, right? The way I like to say it is we are all in the business of solving other people's problems. And if a client is going, I need a caroling group and I need for them to be entertaining and sound incredible and look really cool with their costuming, and I want them to come in and make my party guests just thrilled that they were there. Well, that's what kind of the mindset that I'm going to be looking for groups in, right? So if I go to something like Gig Salad, I don't want to see people not being happy. And if I want interaction with my guests, if I want the group that comes and sings to actually engage my guests and things like ask for, requests and things like that, that's something that I would probably want to see in the video, right? So you kind of have to put yourself in the mind of the client for what you offer and really tell them the story the way they need to hear it. And that is sort of the way that I can say it best, right? Is what do you want them to know about you? Tell it to them in the way they need to hear it. So put yourself in their mind. So now you've got your skills and you're telling it to them in the way they need to hear it so that they can make that decision. And then always a call to action. The last sentence should be always something about, click on this and I'd be delighted to talk to you about working together, or however you decide to say that. Always have a call to action at the end of every single thing you do. If people don't realize that there is a way that they can actually do the action, then often they'll go, okay, on to the next thing. But if you specifically and explicitly point it out and say, hey, contact me. I'd be delighted to talk with you about your event. There's a sort of a thing that happens psychologically that people go, oh yeah, I can call them, and that's possible, and I can talk to them. And the way all of these organizations like Gig Salad and the Bash work is you sign up, and then clients come in, and if somebody wants to book you, they will give you, they'll send you an email and say, this is a person and this is what they want. And then, for example, I got recently, I'm having a party in December and I want some carolers to sing for an hour. And my response was, where is it? Like what town? And also, what's your budget? Always ask. Now, they may not give it to you, but as much as possible, find out what their budget is. Because let's say you're really new to this business and you're charging, I don't know, we'll use a ridiculously low number. You're charging $20 an hour to bring your holiday caroling group to an event for 3 hours, right? So you're going to get $60 for 5 of you to do this. Woohoo! It's going to be $12 a person for the entire thing. So you're making like $2 an hour, right? It's ridiculously low. But let's say you did that. Let's say you were like, we're just starting out. I want to be sure that I have something that we start gigging. We might be doing this for video. We're going to make sure that the client knows we want to record ourselves, whatever it is. This is something that you are charging. And if you immediately give the client your sort of invoice, this is what I would charge you for this, your bid, if you will, they go, $60 for 3 hours. That's great. And then you're booked for a gig at $60 for 5 of you for 3 hours, which is just not enough, right? Obviously. So if you ask the client what their budget is and they come back with, my budget is $400, let's say, I don't know. And if that works for you, great. Then you can go, absolutely, I want to do this. You can book me. We're good to go. If it's not enough, if they come back and say, my budget for this is $80, you can decline the gig, or you can say, well, that's a little too low. Can you come up? And then you start negotiating. Quick hint about negotiation. The person who mentions money first usually is the one who loses the negotiation. So try to avoid, if you can, mentioning money until they've mentioned money first, because then you can work with them to get to a number that's closer to what you want. If they happen to mention a budget that is right in the sweet spot for you, feel free to book the gig, provided you know all of the other information, right? Are they going to want you on your feet for 6 hours? Are they going to want you to work with kids versus adults? Are you going to be standing outside in the cold and snow no matter what? Is there going to be stuff like that provided for you, right? So you don't want to take these gigs sight unseen, because there is no real middle person, right? The agent's not there. This is a website, and the website it's not personal. They're just going to go, this is what it is. You signed on for it, and then you have to do the gig if you agreed to it, or they'll leave you a terrible review. And on these sites, reviews being terrible is not good, right? If you get a bad review, it can affect your entire sort of set of relationships with potential clients from then on, because those reviews don't go away. So you want to always leave those interactions on a positive note, regardless of what else is going on. As much as possible, leave it on a positive note, even if you have to decline a gig offer, just because otherwise you, again, could be jeopardizing the way you work with that site from then on. And a lot of these sites are pay to play, right? So if you want to get on the Bash, in order to do it, I don't remember what the bottom line is. I think it's $99 per year that you pay in order to be listed on the Bash and for them to send you leads, right? So that's the thing, is if you pay for it, you get more leads. And with the Bash, there is no free option. With something like Gig Salad, there is a free option, but it's like 1 or 2 leads, and that's it. Whereas if you were to pay them their bottom tier or middle tier or the highest tier, you would get most of the leads. So it depends on whether or not you want to pay for the leads, is how many leads you're going to get. I like the fact that there's a free option, in part because the group I lead has a big enough reputation that now if I contact somebody and go, hey, we're the Philosopher's Tones, we've done the National Harbor tree lighting, we've worked all these various shishi fufu places, they go, oh, okay, I have a better idea of who you are. But if they're going to somewhere like Gig Salad and they haven't heard of us, I would love for them to see us with our best foot forward, which means professional headshot, great demos, great video, a great bio about who we are and what we've done, and an invitation to contact us for more information. So the same thing goes for our website. And if you listen to that episode, you know that too. All of these things become really important when you're navigating these sites. One thing I will tell you is if you sign up for the Bash and you are there and you decide, well, I'm not going to pay, or I am going to pay, but you leave it undone, you will start getting a lot of emails from their customer service folks going, hey, I see that you left it undone. Are you sure you want to leave it undone? And if you're ready to sign up, sign up. If you're not ready to sign up, let them know, because otherwise you're going to get a lot of, I don't know if they're automated or if it's an actual customer service rep. But when I did it, I got a lot of, hey, Izolda, I see that you started signing up. I'd love to help you. And I wasn't ready to sign up all the way. So I had to let them know, don't email me. I'm not ready, especially since for me, I work very seasonally with this, right? I am Christmas season. So really, I don't need to pay for it up until, let's say, August, when I start getting bookings for the Christmas season. Although, truth be told, all our weekends are pretty much booked now because a previous last year client has booked us again for this coming year for 5 weekends, right? So, and that's the other thing, is that a lot of these, you can develop relationships with these clients for years to come. So something that you get on Gig Salad, this client might go, hey, this was great. We got the gig from Gig Salad, and then the next year they can book you again, and the next year they can book you again, and they can ask for you on repeat from then on. Gig Salad takes a certain percentage. They all do. They will take a certain percentage from the interaction, and that makes sense, right? They are the ones who are providing the connection point between you and the client, so they're going to take their cut. And I never begrudge an agent of any sort taking their cut, depending on the size. Like I know in Maryland, for example, an agent is not allowed to take more than 25%. Here's the problem with that, though. If you have an agent who has an agent who's the one working with the client, there are two agents who you're going through, right? So the client goes to an agent who goes to an agent who goes to you. If everybody's taking their 25% pound of flesh, you're getting 50% of the original. As long as you're fine with that, be fine with that. Do not begrudge the agents their work. If you're not fine with it, you can renegotiate. You can choose not to work with that agent. Those are the options, right? You do not ever cheat your agents. Do not ever go behind their back. A, it's bad karma, but B, it gets around. Word will get around that you did something like that, and it will be bad. And the same goes for any of these websites. When you have yourself on one of these websites, the face that you show is the face that the client will see. As much as possible, put the face that says, you want to book me, you want to have me bid on your event. Once you do that, and you have like an area where you can work, let's say 25 miles from where you live or something like that, once you do that, you then negotiate with the client, and then you sign the contract through the website, and then boom, right? You get to send an invoice and you're ready to go, and you go and you do the gig. The client will then pay through the website, and I think there are times when you can go, oh, the client paid me, and then you have to pay the website their cut, just because if there are misunderstandings, usually you want to go everything through the website. Once you do that, you're set, right? You go, you do the gig, and hopefully they leave you a stellar review and want you back next year, and then off you go to the races, and you keep doing it again and again and keep building your reputation with whatever it is you do. I hope that was helpful. There are lots of websites out there that do this, and I hope that you get something out of this, because if you're working with any kind of agent type of person or organization, there are always going to be similar things, right? They're going to have your information. They're going to have your headshot, your bio, video, hopefully, of what you're doing, you at your best, of course. And when someone calls, remember, I've said this before, they're no longer trying to get you gigs. It's when a client of theirs calls and says, I need a person who does X, that they go, oh, I have someone who does X. And then boom, that's when they go, how about these people? They are holiday carolers and they're fantastic. Here's their headshot. Here's a video of them singing. And the client goes, yes, I want to book them. And then the agent takes care of all the business part of getting us booked. Then I take care of the logistics in that I have to get my people all of the information that they need to know in order to go do the gig and be amazing at it. So there's lots of different little strands, regardless of if you're working with an agent or with one of these websites. Generally speaking, they are the same, but bidding is important, especially if you are in a competitive field. There are lots of caroling groups. Then we might all all be bidding on one gig, or if you're doing something singular, you might not get as many offers as far as clients who want what you do, but you might not have as much competition when you go to bid on the gig. When the client wants something, though, if you do what they want, whoa, of course you should bid on the gig. If you're free and available, and if you can charge what the market will bear while still very much taking care of yourself and your needs. And a friend of mine, Eric Henning, who is an amazing magician, I'm gonna give a shout out to Eric. He talked to me about this because I'm relatively new to using these sites. He's used them for a long time. And you can find him at erichenningmagic.com. He's phenomenal. Great magician. If you're in the Washington, D.C. area, you should definitely book him. He's a wonderful person and a good friend. And he said that really the relationship is everything in here in these sites. Your reviews count for so much. If you have reviews, it will make it a lot easier for you to book gigs. So really focusing on that is important. But please remember that the site will also want you to go always through them, right? They're going to sort of give you some gentle nudges and pressure to have all of your gigs go through them, because they get a kickback, of course. They get a cut of everything you make. But their rationale for it is, hey, if you go through us and you get every client you work through us to give you a review, it will raise and elevate your profile, and more people will then want to book you for gigs. So there's a little bit of a there, right? So if you feel that kind of pressure, stand firm on your own perspective. If you want to work with them only through them, great. If you go, no, I have other ways of doing this. The client contacted me directly, not through GigSalad or one of the other sites that does this, then do that. You have to be a very good critical thinker about this stuff sometimes, but always be above board with how you interact and react to all of this stuff. It'll just make things a lot easier, and it will keep your soul clean. Alrighty, I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. This is Isolde Trachtenberg for the Innovative Mindset Podcast, reminding you that if you do like the show, I would love it if you'd buy me a cup of coffee. You can find that at buymeacoffee.com/IsoldeT. One of the cool things that's going on there, if you join my little membership group, there's different versions that you can join. If you join, I gotta tell you, there's some fun bonuses, little extra episodes and bonus parts of every interview I give nowadays or take nowadays. I have bonus episodes that are not available to anybody but people in the membership group, so it's pretty cool. And I'm super excited about that because then it lets me bring even a little bit more. So if you go to buymeacoffee.IsoldeT, buymeacoffee.com/IsoldeT, there you go, and buy me a cup of coffee, that's awesome. But if you join the membership group, then you get a whole bunch of fun extras, art pieces that no one else will ever see, things like that. It's exciting. I'm excited about what's happening there. Alrighty, cool. I hope that you enjoyed it. I think I've already said this. Until next time, I remind you to be bold, be creative, and most of all, be kind. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. Please subscribe to the podcast if you're new, and it would mean the world to me if you told a friend about it. Today's episode was produced by Isolde Trachtenberg and is copyright 2022. As always, please remember this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Past performance does not guarantee future results, although we can always hope. Until next time, remember to be bold, be creative, and most of all, be kind.